Well, it is a rain out here today. I've got Olive's bed here with me. We are headed over to the 40x60 pole building. There are some things I've been waiting for a rainy day to do. Today is that rainy day. In fact, it looks like the next 7 days will be rainy days, so we can get all these inside projects done. First of all, when you're building a pole building, you can never go big enough. You can see we got the fifth wheel in here. We got the new Mini X in here. Got both split fire machines in here, the tractor, the golf cart. There's the Nautique at the back. Here's the Ranger. You'll notice the pontoon boat is not in here. Now the pontoon boat is not in here because it is at the boat shop getting winterized. And as you know, with Purple Collar Life, I'd probably prefer to do that myself. But since this is the first winter with that used pontoon boat, I wanted the boat shop to go completely over it, check and make sure everything's okay before we put it in storage here behind me for the winter. Since that pontoon boat's not in here, it gives me a little bit more space, and what I want to do is I need to do some moving around of the Nautique here. I need to get everything put away inside it, put the cover on it for winter time. But I'll be able to slide it forward without the pontoon boat here, and I can get at all this firewood. If you'll recall, during the pandemic, we ran completely out of firewood, and we used firewood to heat our home here at Purple Collar Life. So I found a guy up the road that was cleaning out a firewood stockpile that he had built. He was switching from heating with wood to heating with natural gas. So I bought up this last cord of firewood that he had. It is excellent stuff, mostly oak and maple, really good firewood. So I stacked it. Actually, we've handled this firewood. I've handled it 4 times already. Jennifer reminded me she has also handled it twice. So this has not been the most efficient use of stacking firewood because we've moved it now what will be 5 times when I move it today. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back in here behind the boat where I can get access to the wood, stack it in the back of the Polaris Ranger, haul it over to the basement, and see how much of this I can get moved into the house. That should be the last time I handle it before it gets put into the wood stove for heat this winter. Now I am preparing myself. I will not be surprised if we find mice or even snakes in this wood. I'm hoping not, but we will be ready and not shocked if we do. Now I am expecting someone to come in the driveway any moment from the Guinness World Book of Records people. I reached out to them to see if anybody had ever moved the same cord of firewood more than 5 times. Didn't hear back, but I hope they'd be pulling in any second here now to record me moving the same cord of firewood for the 5th time. And in case you're wondering how I stay so buff, I do have a Bowflex. And that Bowflex gives me a really good workout. Now I haven't actually used the Bowflex for at least 6 months, but I've moved it 10 times in the last 2 months. So moving the Bowflex around, great workout. Why did I move it? I had to move it because I needed more space in the basement for this additional firewood storage in the basement. I don't think in this, so maybe 1 piece of cherry, but I think everything else I noted putting here in the back of the UTV was oak. And as you know, oak is heavy, and oak is also my favorite wood to burn. We did that burn test before about burning oak versus cherry versus maple. I'll put a link to that up above. But oak is my favorite of all the firewood species to burn that we have around here in Northwest Pennsylvania. Now, if you're saying to yourself, Chad, you're moving all this firewood in the rain, it's gonna get wet, won't that negate the seasoning you've already done on the firewood? Kind of is the answer to that. And I did a video about outside surface moisture versus internal moisture in firewood. I'll put a link to that video up above. But basically, when I move this into the basement, I'm not burning it right away. We do have a dehumidifier, actually 2 dehumidifiers and fans running in the basement. So any of that surface moisture comes off pretty quickly, stored in the basement. So here's about what 1 load of firewood did from right here up to there. That's the 1 load from the Ranger. We're gonna bring at least that back row behind the boat in, if not the side row, to make the full cord come in here. Well, thankfully I was mentally prepared. We do have a snake. Just a little tiny guy. Mostly looks like he's hibernating. He's not even moving. Nope, there he goes. Just a little garter. Alright, another pretty good load of firewood there in the back of the Ranger. You know, the Ranger says it'll haul 500 pounds of capacity. I don't know how much that oak weighs, and there was some more cherry in this load than the last load, but oak and cherry are pretty heavy Pennsylvania hardwoods. That's loaded up pretty good. I have no idea if we are at that capacity of 500 pounds or over it or under it, but it looks like the shocks and the springs are compressed and the back wheels are angled out, so I'm guessing that's a good load on there. Let me show you what we've got done back here behind the boat. So you can see behind the teak there of the boat is all cleared out, that entire row. A note about that firewood is 24 inches long, so that is 1.5 times per stick more firewood than a standard 16-inch cut piece of firewood. That is 24 inches. So you can see the corner there, and then I can come back in here, and then we've got more of the row up along the side of the boat. I don't know if I'll have room for that, all of that in the basement right now, but we'll get this other part unloaded, take a look at how much space we have left. Oh yeah, that's a full load. Pile here in the basement, looking really good. Remember, those are 24-inch long, so I need to do a measurement of how much wood that is. And I can tell you also how much is left out in the building. So this stack left in the building is about 9'9" long, and it's about 28.5 inches deep, so these are all at least 24-inch, sometimes longer. Oh, there's someone coming in. This could be the Guinness World Book people. We thought maybe you were the Guinness World Book people because we're pretty sure it's a record moving the same cord of wood 5 times. We thought maybe you'd come to document the record.
It's ridiculous is what it is, and I'm glad I didn't have to touch it again.
There's still half of it left. I saved part for you.
Thank you.
Snake number 2. Okay, all this row behind the boat. I did leave this corner stack just for an emergency supply of oak if we need it. So you can see the entire length of the boat is now emptied out also. So this is the smallest load we had on the Ranger. We had some pretty big loads of firewood here. Like I said, this is all oak. They're split 24 inches, so 48 inches deep is how big the Ranger bed is with the tailgate folded down. I took 4 loads of these into the basement. So this will be our last load. We'll put that in the basement. Then we're going to leave that emergency stack back there. Hopefully you found this video fun. Guinness Book of World Records never did show up to see if 5 times moving 1 cord of firewood was a record. But that's okay. I know it was a good workout for me. I actually enjoyed being out here today moving this firewood, thinking about the winter, thinking about the wood heat in our house. We've made lots of videos in the past of heating with wood and why we heat with wood, the money it saves us, and just it's really our preferred version of heat is real wood heat in the wood burner. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please give us a big thumbs up. Leave those comments down below. We'll see you again the next time. So I'm going to say that probably overall 90% of this wood was oak with a mix of cherry. There were some maple pieces in there, but primarily good, solid, hard oak wood. It's definitely our favorite wood to burn. And I wish I could still get wood from this guy up the road, because he did a great job of cutting and splitting and stacking the oak firewood to keep it nice. We bought the last that he had, and we're going to be burning it this winter. We've got plenty of our own firewood, but it was kind of nice to have all this oak, because normally we just have cherry around the house here. Here's a look at our stack now in the basement. You can see over my head great firewood, and I am starting this second row here on the floor.